In the headlines of this hour on VTV News, Prime Minister inspects the construction of important infrastructures in Quảng Province. And later on, Ninh Binh Tourism Week promotes unique local values.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is currently 8 a.m. local time, and you're tuning into 15 minutes of VTV News. I'm Ninh Binh with the latest updates. Now, recently, the government and the Prime Minister have urgently directed ministries, branches, relevant agencies, and localities to ensure sufficient electricity supplies. During his working trip to Quảng Province, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính inspected the progress of constructing 2 national key projects in the energy sector and 3 in the transport sector. More in the following.
The Prime Minister and the working group inspected the Quang Trach 1 thermal power project. The Prime Minister emphasized the significance and importance of the project to national energy security. The government leader also asked the contractor to revise the plan and speed up progress so that the plant will generate electricity by August 30, 2025. Talking to a representative of contractor Hyundai, the Prime Minister asked the contractor to promote investment and technology transfer to Vietnam, thereby contributing to the development of Vietnam Republic of Korea relations.
When inspecting the progress of the 5 kV Circuit 3 line project in Quang-Trang district, the Prime Minister praised the relevant entities for their strong focus on project implementation. He proposed that local authorities mobilize all available resources, provide maximum support, and create favorable conditions for investors and contractors. Local authorities should also mobilize youth union members to promote the spirit of impetus and youthful energy. The Prime Minister also requested that the Vietnam Electricity Group inspect and supervise construction sites regularly, ensuring progress, project quality, labor safety, and environmental protection.
Regarding the 2021 to 2025 Eastern North-South Expressway project, which passes through Quảng Province, the Prime Minister noted a number of issues in site clearance compensation and construction of resettlement zones for locals. The Prime Minister emphasized that in the spirit of always listening to local communities, new residences must be better or equal to previous residences to solve the resettlement issue properly and create trust and consensus among the public. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh expressed his confidence in the project construction companies, relevant parties, and local communities to make more efforts to complete the project in 2025.
Also, during the working visit to Quảng Province on Sunday, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính inspected the province's coastal road project and visited the Provincial Social Work Center. The Prime Minister also visited the people of Mỹ Thủy commune of Lệ Thủy district and presented gifts to policy beneficiary families. More in the following.
The $86 million coastal road crosses 16 communes and 6 district wards. It is scheduled to be completed in 2026. Meanwhile, the foundations of a bridge costing over $40 million have been completed, stating that the project's current major obstacle is the site clearance, with 14% still unfinished. The Prime Minister requested local authorities to focus on completing this speeding up process and avoid additional expenditure. The Prime Minister also reminded the province authorities to pay special attention to resettlement, ensuring the livelihoods of people who must relocate, requesting the localities speed up public investment capital for 2024. He said that central agencies will review and transfer capital from stalled projects.
The site clearance requires the participation of the entire political system, including local leaders. I have issued an official telegram regarding this matter. It is necessary to support people, encourage them to resettle and build appropriate resettlement locations. It is necessary to ensure people's lawful rights.
visiting and presenting gifts to children and persons with disabilities in the Quảng Center for Social Welfare, which cares for 18 of the province's disadvantaged people and children facing extreme difficulties. The Prime Minister hoped all residents at the center would overcome difficulties and thrive. Visiting Nguyễn Quang An, an 84-year-old wounded veteran in Đồng Hới district, he affirmed that the party, the state, always remembers the contribution and sacrifice of older generations and those who fought and died for the national independence and freedom. He asked the local party committee and administration to continue to pay close attention to caring for the material and spiritual life of policy beneficiary families and people who rendered services to the nation. The Prime Minister also visited Miha village in Lệ Thủy district, where he encouraged locals to stay united to build new-style rural areas and a life of culture. The government leader also offered incense to General Võ Nguyên Giáp at his resting place and heroic martyrs at the Bazop Martyrs Cemetery.
In Da Nang, the opening ceremony for the 13th ASEAN Schools Games was held at Tiên Sơn Sports Palace on Saturday evening, with 1,300 competitors and coaches from 10 nations participating. Deputy Prime Minister Trần Hồng Hà, Minister of Education and Training Nguyễn Kim Sơn, and others were among the dignitaries attending. The 10 teams hail from Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. Vietnam is represented by 190 student athletes across 6 sports. The event began with the lighting of a flame by Deputy Prime Minister Trần Hồng Hà, symbolizing youth enthusiasm and regional friendship. Running until June the 9th, the Games will award 107 sets of medals. This year's mascot, the Red Shank Duck, aims to raise awareness about environmental protection among students and the public. Welcome back to VTV News Live. Now, as of May 2024, Vietnam's cashew export turnover surged to $1.55 billion, a 19% increase from the previous year. The Vietnam Cashew Association predicts a continued upward trend in cashew exports, driven by global demand. This presents an opportunity for domestic cashew businesses to boost their exports. Vietnam maintains its positions as the world's top cashew exporter, responsible for over 75% of global cashew kernel exports and possessing advanced processing technology. Projections estimate this year's exports to range between $3.8 billion and $4 billion. To facilitate growth, local cashew processors must prioritize investment in raw material development and secure stable sourcing through purchasing contracts. Such initiatives aim to reduce reliance on foreign raw cashew supplies, enhancing Vietnam's competitiveness in the global cashew export market. Vietnam will investigate and evaluate biodiversity, aquatic resources, and the habitat of aquatic species in Vietnamese waters, including deep-sea areas, shallow waters, and underground water areas, under the National Program on Protecting and Developing Aquatic Resources until 2030. The program has set targets for Vietnam to have nearly 500,000 hectares designated for marine conservation of aquatic resources, comprising 27 newly established conservation areas by 2030. The question is how to achieve this ambitious target.
According to the plan, 59 aquatic resource protection zones will be established. 63 areas will be banned from fishing for a limited period of time, and 27 new artificial habitats for aquatic species will be formed. The fisheries sector plans to zone off aquatic resources protection and biodiversity conservation on an area of over 2 million hectares.
The government has policies to support localities in implementing this project. Policies need to be in place to monitor and evaluate the implementation process.
We see the role of associations and social organizations in this plan being emphasized. This is the premise for international organizations to participate in supporting and improving people's livelihoods.
The plan aims to develop the sustainable exploitation of aquatic resources. Accordingly, it aims to reduce the number of fishing vessels to 83,600 units by 2030 and the total number of maritime workers to about 600,000 nationwide. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development will issue more favorable policies for the development of marine aquaculture.
From now until 2030, exploitation will stand at 2.8 million tons. Marine aquaculture will reach 850,000 tons by 2025. This target will be completed this year.
The program also underlines the necessity to support co-management in protecting aquatic resources, enhance coordination mechanisms among authorized agencies to effectively inspect, control, detect, and handle violations of the law on fisheries at sea and coastal areas, and attract international resources and cooperation in sharing experiences, training, and developing high-quality human resources.
The cruise ship Resorts World 1, carrying 2,128 passengers and 1,138 crew members from various countries, arrived at Con Đảo Island in Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu province on June the 2nd, marking the second international cruise visit to the destination this year. Michael Go, president of Resorts World Cruises, highlighted Con Đảo natural beauty and cultural significance, emphasizing the aim to offer a unique experience to international tourists. In Vietnam, the cruise tourism market has thrived since the beginning of the year, witnessing numerous cruise ships arriving at ports in popular destinations such as Nha Trang, Đà Nẵng, Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu, Quảng Nam, Ninh Thuận, and Thừa Thiên Huế. The 2024 Ninh Binh Tourism Week, with the theme The Golden Color of Coc-Trang An, kicked off last weekend. As an annual tourism activity held by the local administration, the event aims to promote and introduce Ninh Binh tourism's unique, attractive, and outstanding values. Our reporter tells us more.
Visitors can admire the cattleman playing the flute depicted on a nearly 10,000 square meter rice field along the Ngo Dong River cruise route. This artwork honors the ancient capital's cultural and religious heritage, symbolizing the farmers' gentleness and hard work. Tam Coc is also one of Vietnam's 5 most beautiful rice-growing areas.
The scenery here is incredibly charming. On both sides of the river, there are rice fields and mountains. Floating on this beautiful river is a truly wonderful experience.
Visitors can also experience the traditional lifestyle and farming practices of wet rice farmers in the northern delta.
We hope to show our hospitality to visitors from near and far.
The event will last 8 days at the Tam Coc Big Động Tourism Area, Trang An Ecological Tourism Site, and several tourist destinations across the province.
Ninh Binh Tourism Week is a key event to boost provincial tourism and highlight the region's cultural beauty. This year, cultural heritage tourism focused on Tam Coc and Trang An will be the centerpiece of Ninh Binh tourism initiatives.
The event is also one of the activities to mark the 10th anniversary of the UNESCO recognition of Trang An Landscape Complex and hopes to attract about 200,000 visitors.
Up next, let's have a look at the weather forecast. And that is all that we have for this hour on VTV News. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again at the 3 p.m. bulletin. Goodbye for now.